I'm starving.
There's also a bigger one, 36 ones. 30 ones. I normally get them myself.
Right, yeah, like feeds a family, feeds me a day. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. But again, it's like, I feel like all of those little elements are reasons why I'm successful, because it's almost like this like larger than life, weird. What was the soundtrack this morning?
Alternative rock hits from the 90s.
It's all over the place. It's all a part of the character, you know? It's all a part of the character, Simon. That's how we go viral. That's how we do it. But we're about to dive in.
It's a character of John.
Yeah.
But in reality, you have John, the real John, and it just blends in.
I found out that there was two people. She actually brought it to my attention. Never realized it, but I am like two separate people. I'm like a little schizophrenic. A little bipolar, I guess, but yeah, it's all about the character.
Or you are just like having, multiple, you can split your personality in multiple ways.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's still the same source.
Yes, exactly. And I think that that's important because it's like you have like your on-camera persona, and then you have like who you actually are. Yeah, so it's a whole thing. We're good? Ready?
Yeah, we're good. Actually, we already started.
What? Don't. Let's avoid some of those little details. No, I wanted you to just dive in and so I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready started.
Let's do it. All right.
So John, I'm so happy that you came here because you are my mentor. You are coaching me. And we've been talking always over Zoom, and you are the most marketing man in the world. Everybody that looks you up knows that. And now you're here in reality, in person, in Dubai. How cool is that?
It is so cool, Simon. I will say, I don't typically do this. This isn't. I stay in the United States for the most part. I've never traveled this far, not even near. The furthest I've ever gone is Mexico. So to be international on the other side of the world, I'm sitting with you right now, it's a treat. I started my business 8-9 months ago, and it has been the most incredible, unexpected journey. But when you're doing what you love to do and everything's in alignment, it's incredible how far you can get quick.
You went very quick.
Oh yeah, it's a meteoric rise. Yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. Yeah.
So talk us a little bit through it if you can. Like, where did you start in marketing and now you have your own business? What happened in between?
Well, I would say that I learned how to be a great marketer by being a fantastic liar. And I know that's a very unusual way to announce to proclaim being a good marketer. But when I was a kid, my dad was very aggressive towards me, and because he was very aggressive, and we would always have to anticipate his needs, I learned how to cover for myself really well. So it was storytelling. I would create these scenarios because I needed to protect myself from getting hurt. So I learned how to tell stories. I learned how to exaggerate, enhance, how to get people's attention, how to tell like pieces of fiction in order to survive. And then as I got into adulthood, I realized I really have a passion for storytelling, the drama. And then with my experience as a professional wrestler, it taught me how to perform. And I also did drama and theater as a kid. But then when wrestling didn't work out, I got into business. I learned accounting. And when I learned accounting, I learned the business side of marketing. So then when I combined the performance, the drama, and the business side of things, it's like marketing was a beautiful synergy of all these energies. So then when I started doing marketing, it's just like everything just clicked, and I was able to become successful at it. So yeah, that's kind of the journey that I've been on. And now as a business owner myself and managing employees and managing a team and having clients, I don't feel like I ever work. I'm just playing. It feels like play, and I'm having such a great time with it.
That's just a snapshot of a very fast-moving train.
Yes.
And I'm going to jump straight into it because you shared with me that your father had the accountancy firm.
Yes.
And that you were expected at one point to take over.
Yeah. Oh. Well, you know what that's like, Simon, right? Oh, yeah.
Tell me more, because clearly you did not take over.
Yes, I remember sitting in a cubicle and just filling out my accounting work, popping Adderall to get through the spreadsheets and filling out timesheets and all of that. And it reminded me of a moment when I was 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting at church, and I was thinking to myself, I'm 7, I'm 7 years old, sitting at church, and I'm thinking to myself, it was a Sunday morning, and I'm like, is this all life is? I go to work, or at that time I go to school, I have to do all these assignments, I get a little bit of a Saturday to enjoy, and then I'm stuck on Sunday going to church.
Yeah.
Something felt like this, there has to be way more to life than just this. And then when I was in my early mid-20s and I'm working at this accounting agency, I asked myself that question again. There's got to be more to life than just this. So that is when I decided, my dad at the time, he had never done any marketing, and I just needed an excuse to work on a different kind of project. So I started paying attention to Gary Vaynerchuk. I think all of us got inspired by his story. And when I saw the videos and the content he was creating on social media, I thought to myself, that's a lot more fun than what I'm doing right now. Mm-hmm. So then I asked him, hey, can I do some marketing for your business? And reluctantly, he said, sure, I'll give you 5 hours a week to do this. So when I started doing a little bit of marketing for him, I was like, how am I going to generate clients for him? I got so excited. I want my dad's validation so much, How am I going to do this? So I thought to myself, okay, the kind of people that he wants to be working with are in their 50s and 60s. So I thought, just like in my own head, knowing nothing about marketing, okay, well, if I want to attract a bunch of 50 and 60-year-olds, nostalgia is such an incredible thing. When we listen to an old song, we see an old TV show, it inspires us. It reminds us of a time when we had less pressure on ourselves, right? So guys in their 50s and 60s, who did they grow up with? What is something that's nostalgic? And I remember that there was this TV show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's like a very iconic American show for kids. And I remember Mr. Rogers, and I was like, okay, Mr. Rogers, that's something that they would resonate with. How can I put a accounting, fraud prevention kind of spin on it? So then I created this character called Mr. Rogers. And so I dressed up like the character, and I started making these videos on LinkedIn, and they started blowing up. Everybody started loving them. And I was like, okay, wait, so there's something to creating a character, playing into nostalgia, and then my dad started getting a ton of business from it. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. My dad started getting jealous. He's like, are you promoting the business or are you promoting yourself? And I was like, I'm doing both. And when he approached me and he said, you're taking over the business, I thought to myself, this is exactly what you wanted. But what I was learning through experience is, this is why we can't chase external validation. We need to do things for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So then, I started watching Shay Rowbottom. She was a big influencer on LinkedIn. And I said, hey, can I just bring you coffee? Can I just be your assistant? And she was thinking to herself, who is this fuckboy that's in my inbox saying he wants to bring me coffee and be my assistant? She didn't take me seriously. So I told her, I was like, I will pay you $1,000 for an hour of your time to meet in person. And she was like, well, I'll take $1,000 to go on a date with this guy. And we hit it off. She saw that I was serious. It wasn't that I was just trying to have sex with her or hook up with her. I really wanted to learn. So she paid me $20 an hour, and I left my 6-figure accounting job to join the circus and start doing digital marketing. And then through that journey, now 4 years later, I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did your family feel when you gave them the news? Especially your father.
My father was very hesitant because they have limiting beliefs. Most people do. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think it's really important to audit everybody in your circle and identify, are these the kinds of people that are aligned with where I'm trying to go with my life? I'm very strict when it comes to that. If there's anybody's energy that I feel starts to bring me down, I cut them out. You give people a chance, but for the most part, I'm very tense with that. If I feel like somebody's impacting my energy, cut, because I know where I'm going and I can't have them hold me down. But it led to a divorce. My partner at the time, she was not very supportive of it. And that's when I really first experienced how having somebody that close to you can impact you. She didn't support my work. She didn't think that they were funny. She wasn't connecting with it. So yeah, I said, listen, it's not gonna work out. So ended up getting a divorce, but then there's a lot of loneliness that comes with that. But when you really, truly believe in yourself, you're unstoppable, and nothing was gonna slow me down. So yeah, it was a lonely journey, but I figured it out.
And during that time, I think you shared a post on LinkedIn that you.
That was my second divorce, by the way.
Divorce.
Now we're talking about my first divorce. But yes.
So before we jump to your second divorce, let's just.
34, by the way. 34.
With the first divorce.
Yeah.
How does your family feel about your success now?
Oh my gosh, my dad is like, my parents are like my biggest fans now. My dad's been on a couple of the live streams. He's come in and talked and shared. But again, that's why I feel like it's so important that you have to believe in yourself. You have to go after it despite what those friends and family may feel. Now, when it comes to my mom, like it's a little bit more of an intimate thing. My mom ended her career because my dad wanted her to be home, to be a wife, a mother. But my mom was a fashion designer, a very successful one. She was going back and forth to New York. She had a lot of opportunities. But in the 60s, the standard is that wives, mothers, women stayed home. So the reason why she had to stop her career is because she had me. So I felt a lot of guilt over that she had to stop her life to have me. So a lot of like my artistic side, it's kind of like I do it for my mom. You know, like when I'm doing my videos and I'm being creative, it's like I'm channeling that side of her. I'm doing it for her more than anything else because she wasn't able to fully express her creativity. Now I feel like I have a little bit of a chance to do it. So we have a very special connection because we share that artistic side, and I'm really grateful to have that. Plus I got my looks from her. I didn't get my looks from my dad, so I'm grateful for the genetics. Yeah. They're
wonderful.
very supportive, very, very supportive, yeah.
And how does that make you feel now?
Oh my gosh, so good, you know, because like growing up, I was just like, I was a little demon, you know, like, but it was always because I wanted to do things my way. And I think in life, that's the only thing that we can do. You live for yourself. If your whole goal is to try to impress somebody else, you are always going to feel empty. And that's something that I've been realizing through the divorces and the breakups and the lost houses and all of the challenges that I've had over the last decade. What's come together is at the end of the day, it's me. You know, nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's going to come show up and validate me. I need to find that strength in myself.
So you just mentioned earlier that energy is very important.
Energy.
And that if you don't feel the energy, you're like,
Yes.
okay, I got a distance from that. Can you just elaborate more on that? Why it's so important to you and how energy can help you or set you back?
It's interesting. It's almost like trying to explain to somebody what a soul is. What is a soul? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you conceptualize a soul? It's very hard to put into words, but when you feel like somebody has good energy, it uplifts you. It's almost like when you listen to a song and it just like raises your vibrational level. I think energy is a very similar thing, but I think that energy comes from alignment. When you are living out your purpose, what you're supposed to be doing, and you're not just pursuing a paycheck or cash or, you know, going up the corporate ladder, getting the promotion, but you're just doing what you are supposed to do, what you are actually good at. It's a collaborative energy between your passions and what you're good at. You combine those things, that's great energy. And when you're in the presence of it, you know it because you feel like everything is just so much easier. You know, everything is easy. There's not resistance towards whatever you're going after. And I think that when you collaborate with somebody, you have a conversation, you can feel it because you just feel like everything is progressing the way it's supposed to, as opposed to the resistance that life presents itself. So energy is like, to me now, I used to joke. I remember my last relationship. She's gonna love this. My last relationship, I was chasing her validation so much. And anytime that she would tell me, hey, I don't like that you do this, I'd improve it. The next thing, I want you to do this better, I'd improve it. And it was just constantly chasing this person's validation. And then there came a point where there was nothing that she could say. I was model perfect at everything she wanted me to be. And then she hit me with the line, John, it's not any of these things, it's energy. And I wanted to flip my shit. I was like, are you kidding me? I have done everything that you've asked of me, and now it's energy? Something I can't even put into words or explain. Like, I thought she was making it up until I experienced it myself. And I was like, oh, that's what it is. When you're not in alignment with the people that you're supposed to be with or be around, that is energy. And that's why now I've kind of shifted my focus and I embrace the energy.
Yeah. And do you feel also that you said I was chasing like validation?
Yes.
Where is that coming from?
These are great questions, by the way. These are really great questions. Good job, Simon. Chasing the validation. I was bullied a lot as a kid. Bullied a lot as a kid. And also my parents have very high standards for me, right? So when you don't love yourself, or when everybody around you puts you down and makes you feel like you're nothing or you're unworthy, you feel like you need to chase that to be somebody. But then, when you do it long enough and when you start, you build that momentum and you start, having success and what have you, you start realizing, oh, we're all the same. Because I was fighting just to be something. I couldn't even imagine being somebody that was loved or adored or successful. That wasn't even a part of my trajectory. But then as you seek the validation of others, you start realizing, wait a second, they're like me, they fail, they don't do things right. If anything, I'm doing great. And then all of a sudden you turn around, you're running so fast and you got your eyes closed and you're just trying to run up the mountain that once you open them and you look around, it's like, wait, I'm at the top of the mountain now and everybody else is below me. And then that's when you wake up and realize I shouldn't have been chasing their validation anyways, because while I was going through that, I could have enjoyed the journey. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm at the top, I don't need any of them anymore. I'm good by myself. And that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. But it took a while to get here. Yeah.
Yeah, because for the outside, it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw your videos years ago, I just saw a lot of, strong energy, confidence, and I did not see this part that you were going through yourself.
Oh.
So that's very interesting, that what people project and what people experience.
Oh yeah, and if I'm being very honest and transparent, a lot of that confidence was in the form of a pill. I was addicted to Adderall, and unfortunately my colleagues see me without Adderall. I'm like bouncing off the walls, and I change between music sets every 2 seconds, and I definitely have ADHD, what have you, but a lot of my confidence, I feel like Adderall more than anything else is a confidence drug. The quality of work is not even that good, but the confidence that it gives you, because it releases dopamine at very high levels, it makes you feel like you're untouchable, unstoppable. But then when I removed that element, I wasn't taking the medication, I had to sit with myself. And I realized, oh, wait a second, I don't have all the answers. Oh, wait a second. And it literally stopped me from making videos for years because I associated the drug with the success and the videos and all that. So it became this moment where I had a very contrast life. I had two people that I was playing, the person that I was when I was addicted to these, amphetamines essentially, and the person that I actually was, which was a poor, broken boy, if you will.
That's very honest for you to share, and also maybe answers a question why you were hiding on LinkedIn for a while.
Yeah.
And when you do pop up and you do show your face in videos, I see so much love in the comments like, John, where have you been? Don't disappear. Stay here, please. Like screaming people for more from you. How does that make you feel when you do make those videos and you do get that attention and recognition?
It's like, it almost makes me emotional because I feel like who am I for people to care so much about a silly 2-minute video that I make on social media, because it doesn't seem that serious. But I think that's what separates like the people that should have the influence from the ones that don't, is that I really do care about every single one of those people. And because I know nobody owes me anything. Nobody owes me a comment or a like or engagement or anything. For somebody to take the time and express that they enjoy my work, it's like that's everything to me. And I know it's such a cliche and so many people say that, but I truly mean it. It's like, but it all comes back to I am still that 7-year-old boy that has a little art project that they're showing in front of the class and hoping that somebody claps. And the fact that I can have thousands of people clapping, it's like, that's the best feeling ever. I take all the money away, I don't care. Like, the fact that somebody can look at my little science project and like it, my little art project and like it, that's the best feeling in the world, yeah.
Yeah, so please do it more, because people
I'm
want
trying.
more.
I'm trying. I need to check everybody's availability, but we're making more videos. We got some coming out. But now it's very different. Before I did it because I was chasing the validations. Now I do it because I just want to create art. I just want to create my little short films. I just want to make my little short films and have fun with them, and not the pressure of views and comments and likes. And the crazy thing is, it still gets millions of views somehow, you know? But it's a treat. I really love it. It's different this time.
Talking about like your past work on LinkedIn, one of the posts that you make, and now we are going to talk about that.
Oh, please.
Is like you mentioned that a story where you went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And you ended up being homeless.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about that if you want?
Yeah. Ego. There was a lot of ego in that moment. I was in my early 20s, and I was in a relationship with somebody way older than myself. I was emotionally, mentally, physically unprepared, but I just wanted to be good enough to feel worthy of being with this person. So I overstretched myself. I knew that I was not being myself, but I was trying everything to just stay with them. And then when the relationship started to disintegrate, I told myself, there's no way that I'm moving back with my parents. I could never do that, you know? But at the same time, I couldn't keep living where I was living anymore. So I thought to myself, I don't really have a lot of money. I have a car, but the last thing I was gonna do was allow myself to look weak in front of anybody. So I found a parking lot, and I slept in my car for about 6 weeks. And the part that completely changed my life was my ex-wife at the time. She still had like my GPS location to where I was, you know? I totally didn't realize it. And she found my car because she thought that I was like sleeping with another woman or doing something else, followed me, found me in the parking lot and took a photo of me sleeping in my car, and she posted it on Facebook. Got a lot of attention, and a lot of people saw that. And it was the most embarrassed that I've ever felt in my life, but such a transformational moment for me, because it made me realize, okay, I'm naked. Mm-hmm. Everybody saw the worst possible side of me, sleeping in a car like a fool, you know? Can't get worse than this, right? So once that happened, it allowed me the beautiful gift of vulnerability, where if I'm having a conversation with anybody, they can feel comfortable opening up with me because I put it all out there, and I don't mind, you know? But I feel like that's also what true confidence is. When you can put it all out there without shame, without fear, without judgment, and it's incredible how other people gravitate towards you and feel open to share. And I feel like the connections that you can make, the people that you can help, it's completely different, and it's such a gift. So to her out there, thanks for the gift, you know? Thanks for the gift. I'm super grateful that happened.
Yeah, that's a hard one to experience, but it brought you so much, but you needed to go through so hardness to get through.
Isn't that life though? The bigger the challenge, the bigger the obstacle, the better the story of transformation that it creates. And then you can share that wisdom with other people. It's great.
And if I just listen to your stories and your life experience, this image just flashes through my mind, where I see something bigger than life, something bigger like a mountain, and I see you just pushing against it, just like, I would do this, I would take this challenge.
Yes.
People say I cannot do it, or it's not done before,
yes,
but I will not stop. Do you feel driven to take on these kind of challenges?
I think that's what, this might be controversial, but I feel like that's what true masculinity is. I think that we're, like, as a society today, we're missing men. Real, true men, like, you know, they don't exist anymore. There's very few, you know, especially like these younger generations, you don't see it as much. And like, that's where my life and career is kind of shifting. I haven't like formally announced this yet, but it's like, I want to work more in that space, which is like giving men the gift of that kind of confidence to overcome obstacles. stop playing video games, stop bullshitting, stop not taking life seriously, stop not providing for you and your family and your kids and everything. And the way that I frame it is when I look at like my grandfather passed away a year ago. And when I hear of like men taking mental health days, when I hear of men like falling behind or not providing or whatever it is, it really triggers me because like when I think about my grandfather, I never saw him complain about anything. He didn't have a great life. He immigrated from Cuba when he was, had a small family and, he was in a camp, when there was a dictatorship and all of that. And when I look at my grandfather, he never complained about a thing. My grandmother worked 28 years in a CVS, never complained about a thing. And when I look at the way that men are just so sensitive in our society today, I really feel like it's my mission now to shift into that, is to empower these men to like, hey, dude, stand up. Like, we have to be men. Like, that's why we're here. And I just feel like as a society that's just shrinking and shrinking, and a lot of it's not their fault. It's the media. It's our society. It's like this gentle culture that we live in. But I refuse to just sit back and allow that to be what it is.
And that's you touched on a very interesting topic there.
We're full of them.
One of the experiences I had when I was working in my previous jobs. In a family company was that I had a group that I was taking care of, and these were kids that were between anywhere from 2 to 12. And I remember whenever I will come in the group, first thing we would do, wrestle!
Yes!
Yes, exactly. You're being professional wrestler.
Yeah.
So, it was calm. And the kids went nuts, jumping on me throwing them, and I saw it like the staff was like, oh no, watch out.
Right.
I'm like,
he's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, they get hurt.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, no, they're having fun and I'm having fun and we're just like throwing around each other and and the most like quiet kid will become like, right. And they were rally up and then they got this confidence and then they went wild. Of course, they wanted to break other boundaries and
right.
And I just love that, that energy transition and seeing them wake up. But what I just slowly saw was that the staff in school, the staff in the nurseries, at one point there were a lot of men, and then they disappeared.
Yeah.
And then every message from there on was from the perspective not balanced.
Right.
So do you think also that masculinity is also changing because of the changing also in society? What is being projected towards men?
1,000%. 1,000%. I know it's very controversial, but I think that we live in more of a matriarchy today than we live in a patriarchy. And the reason why I say that is when you look at the divorce rate, when you look at the way that the court system takes the side of the woman, and granted, I'm very supportive of women. I worked for a female entrepreneur for years. Because we kind of live in more of a matriarchy and the court tends to side with the woman, men are very disempowered now. Men, they're just, not that they're fighting for rights because obviously men have been in control of things for a very, very long time, but I think that this disempowering or the way that characters in TV shows or in our society or, the men are the bumbling idiot, and the woman's the strong female character, that's essentially flawless. There's elements of that I support, but also, I can see how men are becoming way too vulnerable, way too sensitive, and that's its own problem. I do believe that sensitivity is a beautiful thing. Vulnerability is a beautiful thing, but something that I talk about because I experienced it. My last relationship, I misunderstood what vulnerability meant. Mm-hmm. And my partner became my therapist. Mm-hmm. And that is ultimately what ended that relationship. At the end of the day, that's my belief, right? Mm-hmm. Because I was not a man to her. She out-earned me. She made a lot of the decisions for us. And now I realize, oh, okay, these are the assignments, these are the things that I need to overcome now. And I need to move in a different direction with that because it's not very becoming of me. So I think that, that's why it's so important to have a network of male friends. Now if I have a challenge, I'm not dating anybody, but When I have a challenge, I go to my guy friends first, and we work through those things together. And then we wrestle, and then we fight, and it's like, and it feels good. But I think that men need to have male friends. And I think with so many of us career-oriented, goal-driven, guys don't really have friends anymore, So I think that, that's one of the reasons why I'm here, Simon, so we can hang out, have some beers, and catch up, and just talk about life, I think it's super important to have male friends.
I think that there's definitely a shift in the air, and I don't know where this will take us, with everything going on, and all the conversations that are happening, like what is the identity,
right?
How should people behave,
right?
And the direction that things are going. But what I do see is with you is, you have whiteness in your personality. You can be different things. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think it's like I'm a big believer in I have this on the wall at my house, and it's just like I put in like a Sharpie. Like it looks so stupid, but it's 4 words: never satisfied, always hungry. Mm-hmm. Never satisfied, always hungry. I'm always looking for that next thing. Like maybe it's almost like a mental issue, but I'm always looking for a new skill to learn or something else to cultivate because I get bored so fast. So I think that like when somebody has a very diverse personality or they can talk about a lot of different things, it's because they have a curiosity. And I think that as a society, we're so overstimulated with our mobile devices, we're not curious anymore. We can just find all the answers really quickly. So I think that a lot of it is stacking skills, being curious, never satisfied, always hungry.
And that maybe also drove you partially to start your own company.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm doing now.
Look, just for a lot of people out there, because a lot of people say, I want to be an entrepreneur, I want to have my own company. You've been on all sides, right? You got a family company offered on your silver plate, so you could have been an entrepreneur.
I could have done it,
owner, just like that, but you decided not to do that.
Right.
And now you decided very consciously to do it. How is that journey so far of getting a paycheck instead of earning your money?
Oh my gosh. I don't know how people can be employees anymore. Like I will never be maybe I'll end up being an employee. I don't want to say that, but there's a high possibility I will never be an employee again. I think that people over leverage employment and they think that it's safer than entrepreneurship. But here's the thing, and this is what gives me safety. When you lose your job, your income goes to zero unless you have investments, passive, what have you, right? So if you lose your job, it goes to zero. As a business owner, if I lose a client, I have 15 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm never going to go hungry in that way. And that is the coolest thing that I've learned about entrepreneurship. It's just like, oh wait, if I lose one deal, I still have all these. And then I have a waiting list of other clients that want to work with me. So I think that, entrepreneurship, it's way safer than having a career. And or having a corporate job. Never thought that was going to be. Now, what I will also say is I thought, I'm going to have freedom. I'm going to have freedom to do whatever I want all day. I can work, I can hire. And it's like, no, I am tied to my business 24/7. That is my mistress. That is my wife. That is my life. I am tied to my business 24/7 and I need to be there for it all the time. It's like taking care of a baby. It's like you're nurturing this thing and you have to be very on top of it all the time, but I love it. It's so much fun. It is so much fun. But then that's also why I said you have to find something that's in alignment with your purpose and your passion, because if you don't, it's going to be a lot of work and it's not going to feel worth it.
And how is your energy from being
oh my gosh,
getting a salary to earning your own money?
Oh, like I don't look at my bank account a lot, because if I do, it's going to overwhelm me. It's going to make me feel like oh my God, like what should I do with all this extra stuff coming in? Yeah, I should. Maybe this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. I don't pay attention to the money. I don't pay attention to it, because if I do, then it's like my mind will go in a million places. I just focus on the work. Focus on the work. Yeah.
No, but that's fantastic. And I mean, for an outsider, I always felt like, your energy was too strong, your presence was too strong to be part of a, organization. I could spot that. And
really?
Yeah, because you're so authentic, you're so yourself, and you have like your own direction.
Right.
And now, how would that play out? Nobody knows, right?
Right,
and
right,
when
right.
is the right time
Right.
to do it? Nobody knows. Only you know. Only you will feel.
Oh,
when
well,
it's the
luckily
right
I had a
time.
moment that kind of forced it all to happen at the same time.
And just for the viewers, like the moment I saw like a picture on LinkedIn, there was this fist that you were having and this present. And I didn't even read the post. I was like, yes, he did it. He's working out for himself. I just knew it. And then I read the post. You didn't even say that you started your own company. You
Right.
just said that something shifted in your life. You're going to do things your way. And the first thing I did was go to your DM. I'm like, John, I don't care what you're doing right now. I want to work with you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And then you answer like a couple of months later. You're like, are you still interested to work with me? I'm just catching up now. I'm like, interested.
Here's my credit card. Let's go.
Let's go, man. Let's go straight away.
I feel so grateful that you could even share that, because it is like that. Like I just mountains of messages, and it was a wonderful thing. It was actually the post, I had golden handcuffs on. I don't know if you noticed it. I had golden handcuffs because they call corporate the golden handcuffs, So it was me like breaking the handcuffs. It's like, no, I'm unleashed, But that's exactly what it was. So yeah, I worked with, Shay Rowbottom for 4 years almost. And, but I was always and she was the light, I was the lighthouse. That's how I'd put it. She was the attractor. She's the one that brought the people, and then I would service the people. I would be the one, behind the scenes, doing the work, but really I was learning. She didn't want to do the marketing stuff. She just wanted to create the videos, and she was incredible at it. Like, I can't take anything away from her. But while she was attracting, I was learning. I was studying. I was in the trenches working with all the clients because I wanted to reach the level of mastery. So literally I'd have a list, kept a list, and I was like, I just need my 10,000 hours. If I could just do this for 10,000 hours, I will master this skill. And so and I did one coaching call at a time, 1 hour at a time, until I hit I think I'm up to like 7,400 and something hours now.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just like I was just pounding away. So I was always the one behind the scenes doing the work, but I needed the confidence, and that's what I was missing. I didn't feel confident enough that I could do this by myself. I needed her, So then after we broke up, I tried to work with her for a few more months in the business, didn't work out. We went through a massive breakup and everything, but then it was a moment where I was like, okay, what do I do now? Am I going to go back to forensic accounting? Am I going to try wrestling again? Am I going to do something else? I was like, no. So I started calling the people that I worked with. I remember I sent an email to all of the clients, and I was like, hey, just letting you know, thank you so much for allowing me to work with you the last few years, but I'm going to be leaving the business. And I was shocked. It almost makes me emotional, but about 14 of them reached out and said, where are you going? I was like, I don't know. And they're like, well, why don't you just start your own business? You have all the tools, you can do this. I'm like, I can't do this. They're like, no, we're going to pay you. You will do it. And so really those first few clients were the ones that gave me the confidence that I can do this. And if I didn't have them saying and paying, then I wouldn't be here right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still, even the politeness you have to just tell them I'm leaving and not asking them to come with you.
Never. No.
I think that shows character, how much integrity you have.
I appreciate it, yeah.
And yeah, at one point, I feel also that if people do want to follow you and want to work with you, it's fair business then.
Oh, yeah, and the nice thing is she shifted. She's like, I want to be a YouTube influencer. And I was like, sweet, you're out of the business. Now I can take all the clients. And she was actually really gracious about it. She said, John, there's hard feelings in the personal life, but no hard feelings on the business side.
That's
if you want to take them, take them. So I do owe that to her. She was very gracious with that part of things.
Yeah, and that made you start off.
Oh yeah, no, I feel super grateful that I had a platform, and then it's not like I didn't have an audience, and like the experience like that was also a major element that allowed me to be successful. So yeah, It's been a journey, man. Oof.
So what's next, John?
What's next?
What are you coming up with?
Oh yeah, I would love to. Like, my dream is to have a marketing circus. All of my clients are such characters. I've got a mushroom Barbie. I've got a mermaid lawyer. I used to. I got a Simon Says. You know, so to be able to put on events where I bring all of these people together and I give them a stage to speak on. And I could just be the P.T. Barnum, the ringleader that's kind of like controlling all the incredible energy. That's my dream. I want to start doing events.
I think you will be outstanding. I see that already. You bringing all these people together.
A circus tent.
Yeah. And it's not going to be the freak show, but it's going to be a great
I'm the freak show. Everybody else is the characters, yeah.
No,
yeah.
I mean, it's... You know, when you have a variety of people together, but one common denominator.
Yes, yeah.
That is going to be something that will attract a lot of attention and people. So please do pursue it, and please keep me in mind as well.
We'll do one in Dubai, sorry.
Yes. and I just wanted to also maybe round this off by asking you to share maybe 2 or 3 things for people out there that have not started. They maybe don't have the courage or the confidence, and they have seen your videos and they heard your journey now. How can they start? What will be their first steps?
Oh man, like, what a great question. There's a couple of things that I really believe in, but the first one is, you know, like, you need to combine the thing that you love to do with like something that you're very passionate about with something that you're good at. I remember, like, it's one of my favorite stories, my mermaid lawyer. She came to me, her husband was unfortunately incarcerated, our autistic son, you know, and she came to me, you know, essentially crying in early 2020, and she said, listen, John, I need a miracle. In 3 months, I may go bankrupt. You know, if I don't turn this thing around, I got kids, I got all that. And she said, John, I just need help. And she was a copyright attorney. I was like, oh my God, copyright. Like, how am I gonna make copyright law interesting? And so then I asked her, I was like, well, what are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing? And she said, well, I perform as mermaid, like, on the weekends. Just something fun to do. It's like a way of, like, reducing stress or whatever. I was like, good, here's what we're gonna do. Put on your mermaid fin. She had like an authentic mermaid fin, right? And we're gonna jump in the water, and you put on your business suit, and we're gonna create videos underwater talking about copyright law. And within 3 months, she hit like 150, 180K in new business.
Wow.
And then she blew up. So my recommendation from that experience is she combined her passion with what she was good at, and an audience was formed because of the brand that I helped her build with that. So that was one of my favorite stories. And in addition to that, so combine your passion with what you're good at. Also, find the thing that you're one of one at. You know, so when I was trying to, like, get big on LinkedIn, I realized, okay, I'm probably not the best looking guy. I'm one of them, but not the best looking guy. And I'm not the most charismatic, but one of them. And I do have a skill, but I need something that I'm like, I need to create my own lane, right? So I told myself, I was inspired by Van Gogh. Van Gogh, the Mona Lisa, I'm not sure if you knew this, I'm sure you did. There's like 20 layers of paint behind the Mona Lisa. Mm-hmm. It's something that he was constantly refining. So I thought, man, if I could just do that with videos, I could be like the Van Gogh of, like, you know, LinkedIn when it comes to the videos. So I'd spend like 20, 25, 30, 40 hours editing a 2-minute video. There was so many layers to my work. People started paying attention, and then that's what helped me go viral. So you need to find that one specific thing that you could be the absolute best, world-class at, and that's what's gonna help you stand out. And then I'll give you one more. I say, like, you know, I hate when people on social media say, like, be unique or be authentic. I'm like, that's a nebulous term. It's semantics. It doesn't mean anything. So I tell people, and I'll ask them, is like, if you need to get comfortable on camera, all you need to do is, do you have a dog, Simon?
No.
Okay. The way that people talk to their dogs when nobody else is in the room is fascinating. They'll like be like, you know, they talk like they baby talk the dog. I'm like, that's the way, that level of comfort that you need to have is what you need to express on camera. You need to be really comfortable, you know? Get a little weird. when people say be unique, I say get weird. Just like get weird with it. And I feel like, dude, I got like my nails painted, I got long hair, I look weird, you know? But that's what resonates on platforms. People are looking for people that are different. You like not unique, weird, different, outside of the box. Because if you're trying to get somebody to stop scrolling on social media and pay attention to the thing that you're creating, you can't just follow the trends. You can't be a trend puppet. You need to stand out to get people to stop scrolling. So start there. So become one of one. Combine the thing that you're passionate about, but you're also get paid to do what you're good at, and then get a little weird. And if you combine all those things together, you can go viral too.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And John, it's been such a pleasure. I'm so grateful that you came all the way to Dubai and I can talk to you in person. And thank you so much. I really like.
I'm super grateful to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate you.